Welcome everyone to the Suwannee County Board of County Commissioner meeting for January 20th, 2026. At this time, I'll get Commissioner Hale to do the invocation, Commissioner Mobley to do the pledge, if you'll stand.
Bow your heads, please. Lord, we come to you today. We come to you with thanks. We come to you, Lord, knowing that we are sinners and that we need you, Lord. We pray that you'll watch over us and guide us. Lord, be with each and every one of these folks that are here today as they find their way home after this meeting. Be with us staff and our fellow commissioners as we travel to Tallahassee to do the work of Suwannee County. Lord, watch over us, forgive us, protect us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moving on to approval of the minutes for the January 6, 2026 regular board meeting. Are there any changes or do I have a motion to approve?
Mr. Chair, go ahead, Mr. Commissioner Hale.
I was just going to offer a motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Hale, second by Commissioner Land. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Public concerns and comments. Mr. Roberts, did you wish to speak? Did you want me to do anything with this? It's just for our information? Okay, all right.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Mercer, if you want that to be included in the record, you need to come up here and ask for it to be included in the record. Okay.
I won't bite you, I promise. Anybody else for public comment? Proclamations and presentations, there's none. Consent agenda. Are there any items to be pulled for discussion on the consent agenda?
No, sir.
Seeing none, do I have approval? Motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Land.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Mobley. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Time specific. Man, this is going to work out just right this time. At 5:35 or soon thereafter, as the matter can be heard, hold a public hearing to consider special permit for temporary use SPTU-25-12-01 by Harriet Wells and Curtis Humphreys to be granted a temporary use under Section 14.10 of the Suwannee County Land Development Regulations for a 4-day earth skills education gathering on property zoned A1. Mr. Meeks.
Do you swear affirm testimony given this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. I think I made a typo in my agenda item. It should be 5 days rather than 4. It was advertised as 5 days. The proposed resolution shows 5 days. But I think this is the 7th time that this application has come before the board. They have an event in February, which is the Earth Skills, and it lasts for a duration of 5 days. So this is just the approval for their upcoming February event. And typically the same thing every year. The application did go before the Planning and Zoning Board for an advisory decision. Planning and Zoning Board's recommendation was for approval. So we have a resolution in your packet that reflects that approval. And at this time, if you don't have any questions of me, I would enter the file into the record. Any
questions for Mr. Meeks?
No, sir.
See none? You entered in? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is there any, hang on boys, I got to get used to doing this again. I'll now open the floor to public comment. Anybody wishing to speak on this matter? Seeing none, I'll close public comment. Is there any further board discussion, or do I have a motion to adopt the resolution?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt.
Motion to adopt by Commissioner Land. Second by Commissioner Mobley. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you, Mr. Meeks. Any constitutional officers wishing to speak? Any staff items? Any commissioner items? County attorney items?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. A couple of things, but to get things started first, congratulations to Kurt Signetti in Iowa, and my apologies to everybody who's a fan of the University of Miami. But at least you have all those ACC champion. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't have those either. I'm sorry. You guys have been in for 20 years. It's fine.
Brutal, Amy.
Yes. As an old fan, I don't understand where he's getting the arrogance from, but whatever.
Hey, listen, I got to throw stones when I can. All right, Mr. Chairman, first thing I don't have is a matter which I've discussed with chair members of the board separately. I'm not going to use names. It's more of a personnel matter, but essentially what happened is we have a county employee who, due to a mistake, there was no withholding from her paycheck for calendar year 2025. That is a county mistake. We were supposed to have done that. However, that liability remains with that employee. We've spoken with that employee. We figured out a resolution, which is basically the county will go ahead and pay the amount that should have been withheld. As the debt still belongs to that county employee, she'll then repay that debt over 26 installments. Basically, it'll be another withholding from her future paychecks. I've gone over this with the county administrator as well as with the employee and her father who's been taking part in it. And so I've prepared a proposed contract, Mr. Chairman, which has been signed by the employee, but unless you feel I need to get more in-depth into it, but more or less that's what it does.
I mean, you filled me in on it, and I don't know if you talked to any of the rest of them, but I mean,
It's the best we can do to make a situation right that it was our screw-up.
Yeah. Sure.
So, Mr. Chairman, I would request board action to adopt and approve the contract. And it has been signed by the employee.
Do I have a motion to approve the contract?
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Hale, second by Commissioner Mobley. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Does this go to the clerk?
Yes, sir. And then, Madam Clerk, if we could make sure that that gets to Keith first thing tomorrow. Thank you. Next, Mr. Chairman, as members of the board, public may be aware, there's been, I'm going to say, discussion between the county and the town of Branford regarding the idea of the county taking over the Branford Fire Services. As part of that, Branford has a fire station, and for the benefit of the public, a fire station isn't just what you would traditionally think of where you put the fire trucks and the firefighting equipment. It also necessarily means you have to have a place to house those who fight the fires. And so the existing structure that's there at Branford, where the fire trucks are located, is insufficient to house firefighters. So it's not enough to be a working fire station. There is a building located adjacent to the existing, and again, I'm calling it a fire station, even though it wouldn't work for our purposes, which the town of Branford, it's their maintenance building. All of the rest of the property, if this deal goes through, which again, we're still negotiating it, so none of this is a done deal, but all of the rest of that would ultimately go to the county. What I'm asking for guidance from the board for, and it makes sense to me as well as to the chief when we were discussing the broad outlines of what the deal would need to look like, is part of this deal should also include what it would take to get that maintenance building from the town, because that's the only viable place to basically to modify an existing structure to make it an operating fire station where we could have the firefighters be able to live during their shift work. So I'm not looking for board action. I'm just kind of looking for consensus that as we move forward in these negotiations, what it would take for us to purchase that building should also be included as part of it.
And just to give the board a little insight as to what's going on there, like he said, we're in discussions
We'll
with
see. I mean, just
doing fire protection for the town of Brantford, and as you know, we bought the piece of land north of that we've since made a parking lot out of, and this would be the piece to the south of it that joins what's right in front of the fire station there. So it just makes sense, being that I'm thinking the town of Brantford, I don't know, Mr. Kevin's here tonight, he could tell us if he wanted to, that's a possibility of the county acquiring that building for housing for the fire department, should this all come to fruition. So, do y'all have any questions on that, or do you want to discuss it any?
So the fire building, the maintenance building is due south of our maintenance yard?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with Brantford.
If you look at the fire station, which is the furthest most southern building there, that's running north and south, it'll be the building running east and west.
Okay. And we need that maintenance building for potential future expansion for housing for the firefighters.
Well, they're going, if the deal with the town of Brantford goes through, we negotiate it all out, and we approve that, then the firefighters are going to have somewhere to sleep at night, because there'll be, correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, that's 2 full-time firefighters, 24 hours a day.
The town currently has 2 full.
No, the town currently has a volunteer fire.
Right, and Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yes, sir.
And because the town operates on a volunteer basis, they don't have to maintain firefighters at that place, whereas that's a change in use that would have to happen should the county take it over.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Hill.
And to define housing, we're talking about kitchen, sleeping, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, kind of what we did up north with Station 6. We bought the church and we remodeled the inside.
Just not to that extent, I don't think. It's not to that money.
Right.
The building's a lot easier.
Right.
So,
Is that a metal building? Do you know? What is that building?
I don't know if it's
Is it metal?
metal or block, or what is it? Kevin, do you know?
It's a metal
It's a metal building?
Okay. Okay.
So, do you just need a consensus?
No, I'm just looking for guidance because right now, kind of the outline of it, since that's in talking with the chief, it didn't make sense for us to move forward practically if we weren't also going to get that building. But that changes the parameters a little bit about what had been talked about, because what had been talked about so far had simply been a swap of more or less the personal property, using the legal term, and property that the town of Brantford has, and swapping the value of that for the outstanding debt they would owe because we're providing fire services. But we're also going to have to do this real property inclusion to make it viable. And so I just want to make sure that it's okay on this end with you guys to move forward and have that be part of the package deal, because that's the only way it kind of makes sense.
Well, let me be clear on that part of it, because I've had some talks with them on that building. What we're going to do is trade. We agreed to the town of Brantford agreed to pay us $80,000 a year in fire protection. We're going to acquire their firefighting assets and what goes with that, and we're going to appraise that value, or the chief will get an appraisal on the value of that equipment. They won't have to pay the $80,000 a year until that credit is used up for those assets. But going back to this building we're discussing here, that's their public works building. So we're not going to be able to trade that part of it out, as they're going to need to get paid for that building so they can build them another public works building at their sewer plant. So I just want to be clear about what's on the table here, and that everybody understands. And so with that, if they're agreeing to sell the building, I would say an appraisal would be in order.
Yeah, I don't need anything else, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to, basically the okay from you guys that as we're moving forward, let's incorporate that into whatever that future agreement looks like between the town and the county in the regarding fire services.
So I'm just open for discussion, and you can tell me to go pound sand or whatever.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Land.
so the building that we're talking about right now is due south of our maintenance building down there. I'm making sure I'm on the right parcel. It's got, the tax rolls have it about 1,300 heated and cooled square foot.
That's about right.
And probably 4,000 on the roof, roughly. So I assume some of it's probably shop or
It is. It's got
storage or
two
warehouse
roll-up
type
doors.
space. And I guess what you're asking is, what the attorney's asking is consensus to move forward toward a purchase, and then you're asking if that's what we want to do, so you can start negotiating numbers, values.
Correct.
And what the agreement's going to look like.
And what that agreement looks like.
And that building that's due south to us, that is where the fire trucks are currently stored.
The one that runs north and south.
So they're using that as, I'm ignorant when it comes to Brantford's town
That's their fire
operations.
station.
That's their fire station and their public works?
Well,
No.
There are two buildings. One's the fire station, and then the separate building is the what
public.
used to be our town hall is now public works.
So they're going to need, if we acquire that, we're going to need that for housing for the firefighters, and then they're going to need another building for their public works.
That's the way I understand it, yes.
Okay. I'm just trying to get on the same page.
Yep.
No, I don't have a problem.
And at that point, that'll be like all county there at
Yeah.
that point.
And this is
Those
not
parcels. That, yeah.
And this is nothing final. It's just I want to make sure that in the contours of what we're going to negotiate, you guys are okay with us including.
I mean, I think it makes sense if at some point the county is going to provide fire services for the town of Brantford, that it makes sense for the county to try to have all of our assets in one line right there. And the town of Brantford owns the one to the south of us, and if that's where they are currently storing the fire trucks, if they're willing to negotiate a trade so that, you know, we purchase or credit or however we want to do it so that they can go replace their public works building, I think it makes more sense for us to have all of our assets in a line versus 4 blocks down the road, we got another building, another.
Does it show how much property is there? Does it show?
No, it's a lot in blocks. It doesn't say acreage.
And then just
For
one
Dunzo.
thing that the chairman said, but I want to make sure is clear. Everything's fine with doing the fire-related assets as a swap for fire services, but because this building, they're going to have to go and build a new building, that's going to have to be a cash purchase. That's not going to be a swap.
Yeah, that's what it
So
was.
I just want to make sure that's okay with you guys. That we don't have the price or anything else yet. I'm sure that'll involve appraisals, but that's how that part would have to look, just for practical purposes on their end.
So you need consensus from us to move forward.
Not even voted on consensus. I'm just looking at you guys to make sure, kind of generally, you guys are okay with doing it.
Well, I am, so I'll just leave it to the other three to decide what they want to do.
Mr. Chairman, I don't mind letting the attorney move forward, get some more information, bring us back some solid numbers and what all that looks like.
Commissioner Land,
Yes, sir, I'm good with it. I think it makes sense. I think it's fair for both sides.
there you go, Mr. Attorney.
Yes, sir. That's all I've got. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
That's it?
Yes, sir. I can keep going if you want.
No, we can make a record right here. Any consultants wishing to speak? General business, number 11, discuss with possible board action donation of land from the Fair Board. Mr. Wainwright.
Y'all need my address?
Yes, sir.
West Wainwright, 16672 129th Road, McAlpin, Florida. I didn't come up, I'm inherently lazy. I didn't come up during public comment, so indulge me. I'm just going to spend about 2 minutes out here on public comment, then we'll move on to the business. Yesterday, as I was desperately searching for a warm spot to go over some stuff, work on wonderful taxes and things of that nature, and get prepared for share a little notes with y'all about the Fair Board, I was compelled to just, I'm going to share 4 verses of Scripture with you. It won't take me just a moment. Beginning in Daniel 2, verse 20. Let the name of God be blessed forever and ever, for wisdom and power belong to him. It is he who changes the times and the seasons. He removes kings and establishes kings. He gives wisdom to wise men and knowledge to men of understanding. The second one that I want to read to you is out of 1 Timothy. Again, chapter 2, verse 1 and 2. And gentlemen, this is in light of, I just happened to turn on the news yesterday, to my disappointment. All this stuff is going on a national level, but I think we need to look at things at home. I love my community. I love my state. I love the country that I live in. Again, 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 1. First of all, then, I urge that entreaties and prayers, petitions, and thanksgivings be made on behalf of all men, for kings and all who are in authority, so that we may lead a tranquil and quiet life in all godliness and dignity. This is good and acceptable in the sight of God our Savior. Gentlemen, I've always been quick to just be, it's my nature as a Wainwright to be kind of quick-tempered and spout off. God's been doing a great work in me over the years and teaching me patience. And so all I wanted to do is just encourage y'all, as well as myself and the public. We need to be praying for our leaders. Y'all, I pray for y'all, our state leaders and our national leaders. I think it's just important that we all kind of step back and take a look at that. But okay, on to the business at hand. Thank you for allowing me to speak that. The Suwannee County Agricultural Fair started in 1915. 111 years. It's the oldest, longest running agricultural fair in the entire state of Florida. The Fair Board, I don't know if it started back then, doesn't matter. And I don't have with the help of Lynn Touchton, she pulled this stuff together for me because I hadn't been around that long enough. I've been serving as a chairman just for a couple of years. But anyway, just going back historically, talking to previous members of the board, and this one goes back to Vincent Jones, for all of you who might have remembered Vincent. Just a tremendous individual in the community. Exhibition 2 was constructed with monies that the Fair Board raised, proceeds from the fair. And I'm going to just kind of list a few things that the Fair Board has done as a nonprofit. And now there's been years that was true to term. We had to borrow money to open up the doors even. But what times and opportunities we've had to make money, we've been more than happy, and I'm speaking on behalf of the board now, past and present, to spend monies to help and improve and enhance the facilities so we can do a better job with the fair. And these are facilities that belong to the county. Built a concession stand in, believe it or not, 1969. Repainted the steer barn in 99. The big brick sign out there in the front. Got kids from the VOTEC, and that was built in 2000. We paid for all that. Picnic pavilion that's right out front of the corn boil. We built that. Donated some monies for different things, repairs and things of that nature. A lot of it we just felt obligated to do. Replaced a drain field, a concession stand. That was back when Randy Hatch was commissioner. Remodeled the old canning center for the office and facilities there. That was about $17,000 way back when. Purchased hand dryers for the rodeo restrooms. Tim Alcorn and Sherman Fryer, by virtue of Sherman Fryer, did a topo map to try to work with the county. This goes back a number of years to try to figure out how we can get better drainage. Obviously knowing that when we have a lot of rain during the fair, it's a big problem there. And so that was under great expense by him alone, and that information still exists. Built the poultry barn over there on the side there in 1989. That's just a couple of things. And one of the things that we did was we purchased this little 7-acre strip of land back behind the arena. Didn't really have an idea of what we wanted to do, but we knew that we wanted to tie it up and make sure that it would go towards anything, again, to help enhance those facilities. We want y'all to have it, realizing that there's a lot of potential in that area that's, the old Palmer field back there. At the very least, just for mitigation, water mitigation. I mean, it's just, as you see in your information, your packet, it's a nice little strip of land there, and we wanted to donate it to the county, again, because this is, for us, it's a partnership. We enjoy what we're doing. We're all volunteers. And the county has been very generous over the years. For a number of years, Greg Scott under his, well, actually it didn't fall under the Parks and Rec until maybe 15 years ago. Jason, do you remember? Something along. It wasn't always under Parks and Rec, but that was, as a commissioner, I remember I wanted Greg to be able to run that facility, knowing that along with Jason, with the talents that they bring with their management skills, I knew that would help really develop that area, and it has. It's been a tremendous change for the better. Obviously we've got construction going on, and y'all were all aware of all that stuff that's going on, hopefully for future benefit. But for years, the county didn't charge us rent. And then after Greg took over, and then after Jason took over through Parks and Rec, same thing. We just had to, I think, a really good relationship, and allowing us to work with this facility and help to enhance and improve it, and each year try to bring a better program for our community. What we would like in return, and I've spoke to a couple of you. I know I might have mentioned it to Franklin, I'm pretty certain, but
You did.
we're obviously with the construction and things that are going on, we need a storage facility. And so the only thing that we were asking in return is, and it would be on y'all's property, and ultimately it would be the county's building anyway. We would just like to have a building designated we can store all our fair materials in, and something along the lines of about a 40 by 60, with some roll-up doors on each end and a walk-in door. Just something that we can secure our equipment and things of that nature in the off-season. But again, it would go to enhance the overall county facility as well. Because, like, again, it would be yours. We just want to use it to store our stuff. We'd like to keep going. It's getting more and more challenging every year, but so far we're hanging in there, and the livestock board under some new leadership, I think they're doing a great job and better job, and this is really ultimately, and I know that you've participated. I know you did. I don't know about Don, but I did. We showed steers, we showed hogs, and we was growing up and all that stuff, and there's been a whole host of folks in our community, obviously, for all these years participated in this. We want to keep that going. So with that, thank you. And unless you got any questions, I'll go sit down and be quiet.
So you're asking for a 40 by 60 building. Is it post-frame structures?
Post-frame structures, concrete floor, maybe with an apron on each end, for driving in, we can pull in, we can, unload our materials and things of that nature. But yeah, a post-frame structure is fine. Just something simple. Lights. We don't need water in it, but just lights at least. And
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
one thing, if the board does want to move forward with this, I'm assuming because this is property that's ultimately just been handed down through the years, there's not a sitting legal description for this. Am I correct in that, Mr. Wainwright?
I couldn't tell you. We purchased it, 6 years ago, 7 years ago?
If you guys purchased it, then we should be able to have a good legal.
It's been longer than that?
According to the
okay. It's
public,
been longer than I thought then. Excuse me.
according to the property appraiser, it's got a legal description on it.
Well, the property, you're not allowed to use the property
Yeah, I
appraiser
get
legal
it,
description. But if it was purchased in '98, then I can just steal that one. So I just wanted to.
Yeah, Tim had it surveyed. I know that.
Who closed it?
Who closed it?
Y'all remember who was the
Do you
closing
remember who
date?
closed it? Parker, maybe, or Old Town Title?
Hometown?
Yeah, that was that little one downtown.
Yeah.
Mr.
Commissioner
Chairman,
Land.
I would ask Mr. Morrison to reach out to Hometown Title, Mr. Meeks. Reach out to those folks and see.
All right, if it's been purchased recently, I can handle it. I just didn't know if it had.
I think it was not too long ago that we paid it off.
Yes, sir. Okay.
That's where my memory's hitting me.
So how do we handle, Mr. Attorney, how do we handle the building for the land?
So we can be as formal or as informal as the board wants to be. We can do it in two phases. If the board wants to say, yes, we accept, has the Fair Board voted to offer the land formally?
Yes, the Fair Board has voted, we decided this months ago to turn it over to y'all. Obviously, we're under your timetable, your budget constraints. If it's next year, I mean, we understand all that. Right now, we're underneath bleachers and things like that in the Coliseum, and then the chicken barn's full. We got to move all that stuff out, in preparation for the fair. But we're, like I say, we're totally at your disposal as far as time goes, because I understand budget constraints and things of that nature.
So, but to answer your question, Mr. Chairman, it can be as formal as informal as the parties want it to be. We can go ahead and accept it now and go ahead and do the deed and be done, and then we can agree to do board action to build that. However, if I were the Fair Board, I would probably want a contract that links the two, because although this board may want it, a future board may forget, or
I kind of figured that was going to happen,
right?
Whatever y'all decided. But here's the main thing for us is with all the changes that are planned to build back the barns and everything. My thoughts really, as I approached the board several months ago, was I wanted to make sure that if it would be included in y'all's master plan, it would help facilitate y'all's efforts and your building and whatnot for water drainage and things of that nature. So I wanted to get it in y'all's hands, so y'all got time to include that in y'all's plans and how you're moving forward with the construction of the fairgrounds or the livestock facility.
So probably the best way to handle it, Mr. Chairman, would be to ask for consensus for the board right now to say provisionally yes, and then direct me to negotiate with the Fair Board so we can turn it into a contract that's acceptable to them. And if it's acceptable to them, bring it back to the board for execution and receipt of the deed.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Mr. Wainwright. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Mr.
Hey, I
Wainwright.
enjoyed the history lesson. There were some things there I didn't know.
Sir?
I said there were some things there that you said that I didn't know, so appreciate the history lesson.
So, Mr. Chairman, just to confirm, do I have that consensus by the board?
Consensus?
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Is that
Mr.
all we
Wainwright,
need?
I'll be in touch with you.
Is that all we need to
Yes,
do with that
Yes,
item?
sir.
Item number,
Mr. Chairman, so
excuse me, Commissioner Land?
Mr. Morrison, you're going to get with Mr. Wainwright and work out a mutually.
So what I'll do is we'll put together the contract, we'll put together the deed, so that way, and they'll have signed off on everything, and then you guys can vote to accept the contract, and that will obligate the board to, once they accept the land, the county would then be obligated to build the building, and that'll be in an agreement.
Yeah, I would think that in the meantime, maybe the Fair Board, and I don't want to put the burden on y'all, we could probably help, but come up with an estimated cost so we
Yeah.
can, so that we don't have to, what I don't want to do is I don't want us to negotiate a deal to where it's a specific dollar amount. I'd rather us do a not to exceed. That way, if they do somebody does some donations or somebody, they find something that they want to add, like, I don't want to say, hey, we're going to do this building for $65,300, and then they need another $5,000 to add lights. I would say, hey, let's do the contract where it's not to exceed whatever that number is, 80,000 or 75 or 100, whatever the number is, to get y'all what you want. And then if they get donations or somebody comes up and says, hey, I'll do the electrical for free as a donation, or hey, I'll do let me form it up and pour it, I'll donate that. And that way, that gives them some wiggle room to kind of do what you want to do. And then also get with Mr. Furry and Mr. Rosner and determine site location on everybody and the Fair Board as well to agree on, hey, y'all let's put it here. Is that good for y'all if we put it here? Y'all good with that? Et cetera, et cetera. I'd rather nail this down in a little bit more detail now while we're all here and do the deal and not drag it out.
I don't want to do this, well, excuse me, let me rephrase it. This has to include Parks and Rec and county to help decide and whatnot, again, location and all these factors. Again, it's your property. It's the county's property.
That's right.
So we're easy, we're flexible. So
Right.
we'll
That's what I would say.
whatever we can.
Yeah.
I'd like to give y'all some flexible terms so that you have a not to exceed versus, and then you're coming back, say, man, we need another $2,500. Something went up. They did a materials increase on us or something. Kind of give you a cushion to work under.
But
Make
not
sure
a
you get
blank
what you need.
check.
Yeah, not a blank check, but I just hate it when we do something so ironclad that we end up coming back to it 3 times to talk about $1,000. Like,
Thank you.
Lynn?
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Attorney, you good with that?
Yes, sir.
I'm good, yes, sir.
Yep.
Item number 12, discuss with board action projects for the FDOT 5-year work program. Ms. Flanagan.
So before you, there are 3 different viable projects that I would like some direction as far as priorities. So the first one is 184th Street. It's 2 miles.
I'm all in favor. We
Hereby.
can stop right there.
It's taken dirt road to pavement, so you're talking about new construction. 2 miles in length, and the estimated project cost, including engineering, is just over $4 million.
2 miles. 2 miles.
The second one,
2 miles.
I think it was 2.4 when we started talking about this.
$4 million.
Could you repeat that road again?
184th.
That's the one that goes from 137 to the Columbia County line.
I hear it in my sleep.
That ain't a road.
Trust me, they've heard it a million times.
The second one, ready?
Go ahead.
Second one is County Road 137 South, and it's from County Road 252 to US 90. That is 4.7 miles in length. It's widening and resurfacing, and the total cost for it is $6.5 million. The third one is County Road 349, and the segment we're looking at is what we believe is the worst, from 192nd Street to County Road 252. That's 5 miles. The total cost for it is $6.3 million.
Is that north or south of 252?
That's south. At the very top of this map is 252.
Oh, I got you. I forgot about you handed us that map.
So it goes down to 192nd.
I won't disagree with that.
So those are the 3 that I would like for you to give me some guidance on as far as what your preference is, the priority number. Whenever we submit these to DOT, I need to give them priority 1, 2, and 3. So that's where I want to leave it with you.
There goes your quick meeting.
Well, as chairman, and as not as chairman, as just the commissioner, as a taxpayer, that is a vital road to get paved from 137 to the Columbia County line. If you ever have to drive it, or you ever see the traffic that's on that road, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And it's not just for me. There's a lot of people down there that work and go to Gainesville every day, and that is about a 15 to 20 minute time saver to go that route versus going all the way down to 27 and cutting across to Alachua. Because you can hit the interstate right there, not far from that intersection, maybe another 4 or 5 miles, you'll be at the interstate. So that's all. You've heard me I countless times talk about that road, but that is my number 1 pick. I don't know what the rest of them want to do. I'm sure they're tired of hearing me on it, but
I would like to add one thing about that road is, we've talked about this a couple of times before, and DOT was not of the mindset to rank dirt roads high enough to pave. We are currently at a point that they seem to be willing to consider doing this. So this opportunity may or may not circle around back to us.
well, and we've discussed it many times, the board, about the county just paving that. Well, that's why I would never push for us to use county funds to pave that road because it was so expensive for a short distance that I felt that was selfish to do that when we could get state money to get that road at some point. And so I'm just patient, and I'll just wait my turn, but I'll get it before it's over with, guaranteed. But that's just my thoughts on that. I mean, if it can be done, I'd like to see it done. If it can't, I understand that too.
How, Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Hale?
and forgive me for not knowing, but I'm sure several of you may, because it's in your district, how terribly bad are these others? These are paved roads already. I see there's
The
one
other
that
two
says,
are paved roads, yes.
yeah, widen and resurface, I see that, and then the 4.7 miles from 252 to 90.
And that road's in pretty rough shape.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's got ruts in it.
Which one?
137 from 252 up to US 90.
And a couple of years ago, we did identify that as a main corridor that we wanted to improve for truck traffic and other things. So, all three of these
Are
have
good.
different benefits.
And they're all needed, desperately needed.
And one more thing, Mr. Chairman, is this a 1, 2, 3 need, or just
Yes,
a
sir.
one only, what we get? So-
1, 2, 3.
I got you.
We may or may not get more than one, but we are going to go ahead and ask for more than one.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Lynn.
Ms. Flanagan, do you by chance have the traffic counts for the two paved roads in comparison?
I think they're 1,000 and 1,100, I think is the two different numbers on those.
You know which one's which? If you don't, that's okay. I mean, it's 100 difference, 100 cars a day.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You see between 137 and 349?
Yeah, the two paved. I doubted she would have traffic counts for the 184.
No, we did a traffic count on it at one time. I don't
We did.
remember what it was. But. How much was the 349 paving? Did you state that amount?
Yes, sir.
It's 6.3 million
6.3.
on page 2.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, for
Commissioner Lamb.
benefit of the public, I did a quick math down here, and I mean, y'all know this, staff knows it, and probably everybody in this room knows it because most of these folks that I see out here are frequent flyers. But there's a reason why the county can't go out and just pave roads and pave roads and pave roads. You're looking at on the 349, you got $1.25 million a mile. On the 184th, you're at 2.094 per mile, $2 million a mile. And then you're on the 137 project, $1.4 million a mile. So paving ain't cheap, even just resurfacing and widening, and you're over $1 million a mile for a resurfacing job.
Oh, yeah.
We used to say the old rule of thumb was $1 million a mile. Well, clearly there ain't any of these
It's over
three
that.
$1 million a mile. So
One other
And
thing.
to your point, Commissioner Land, that's going up, but our funds are not.
Correct.
They're going down from the state.
That is correct.
So,
If you choose to go with 184th Street paving as your number one priority, one of the things that we could make it more enticing to them to actually award that is we could actually provide the clearing and grubbing by Public Works. And that would show that we have skin in the game.
And I'm sure that's probably a significant cost in that road.
125,000.
Cheaper than I thought it'd be.
We wouldn't be able to do every bit of that. A contractor would still have to come and do part of that, but we could do the majority of it.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Lynn.
am I correct in saying, Mr. Morrison, hasn't the county acquired all the right-of-way necessary for that? Has the county acquired the right-of-way for that?
I'd have to go back and check, quite candidly, the roads.
Well, I can
all-
tell you this, if we ain't acquired all that, somebody's probably gonna be hunting a job.
okay.
I'm just saying it like it is. Now, I've asked about that multiple times, and it was
I
supposed to
asked
be done.
because that's the first thing,
They're gonna
DOT
ask.
usually asks us is, do you have the right-of-way for this? So I know Mr. Chairman's been working on that, since the first time he was chairman, and that was 3 years ago.
We put out a bunch of offers.
And it's not even in my district anymore. It's in Mobley's district. So I'm sitting there fighting like crazy for something that's not even in my district anymore. But that's fine. I'm not here for my district, or I am, but I'm here for the county too, so.
Well, I think that's one thing that I would say about this entire board is that when we recognize a need that for the county, the district lines kind of fade when it's a legitimate need, so I don't have a problem with that.
So, any other questions of Ms. Flanagan?
I don't think I have any.
No, sir.
What's the board's, do we want to rank them like she's got them? Do you want to change them? I need
Chairman,
Commissioner Mobley.
I rank them like she laid them out. 184th, 137, and 349.
Well, of course, Commissioner Mobley, both of those top two roads are in his district.
What to say?
But like I said,
I don't see none over here for land and hell in here anywhere. I'm just saying. Did I
he
miss
ain't
a
said
thing?
nothing the whole meeting, and the first thing he said, yeah, let's do it like that.
Allison Road right now. Correct, Jim? And hit 250.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm good with it too. I'd really like to see it get done, and hopefully, guys, we got this rural renaissance bill coming, and maybe that will change some things for us, and some of
Okay.
these projects will move a little bit quicker.
That would be nice.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you very
Flanagan.
much.
Thank you, Ms. Flanagan.
All right. Item 13, discuss with possible board action change order number 3 requested by staff to extend water lines to lift station 4 at the wastewater treatment plant at the Suwannee County Regional Industrial Corridor. Mr. Fury.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This stems just from some grant money that we have left over in one of our grants. Music Construction originally was awarded this bid a couple years ago, and of course, at our request, they're honoring their prices from that original bid table to go ahead and extend these water lines to the lift station and to the wastewater treatment plant. That was not originally part of that job. And we would just pay for these through our wastewater treatment plant grant funds and our industrial park.
That's 6,900 feet of pipe. That's what it says in here anyway. So where does that extension go?
So it'll go under I-10 over to
The east side.
where the lift station is to the east, to
Okay.
Walter Lawson's property over there,
Okay.
near there. And then it'll go north along the McCook property, up 169th basically, and then over to the treatment plant. Right now, the water lines kind of they go from the water plant and down along the railroad, along the southern border of the McCook property, and over to Project Wave, and it just dead ends right now at Project Wave. So just two little extensions.
And this is at the same price as it was bidded at the first time?
January 24.
So it's just a line item bid at the same price?
Correct.
Any questions, board?
And there's, Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Lane?
there's leftover, I see here in the notes here, there's, the funds to cover these are still remaining in the grant.
Yeah, there's two different grants. I think we have $500,000 in the Florida Job Growth Grant Fund there. So we'll use that up and close that grant out, and then we'll put the rest in the wastewater treatment plant. About 200,000 or whatever that difference is there.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Hill?
is it just going to be pipe, or will it have, I don't know what's the right word for it, hookups built into it, or will we come back and have to tap into those later? Fittings, I guess I'll call it, fittings, couplers,
There'll be some
whatever.
fittings, there'll be some T's, there'll be
what
fire
I'm asking.
hydrant. Yes, sir.
Okay, gotcha.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Lane?
Mr. Furry, on that wastewater treatment plant, what's the status of our, I know we're short money there, right?
We are.
Well, I guess what I'm asking, are we adding to the shortage of the?
Yep. Yep. Now we say that, we don't, you're adding to it. We don't know what that final number is going to come in on the wastewater treatment plant. Excuse me. We are going to extend that bid out a couple weeks there's quite a few questions that come in, I think 48. So we want to give those contractors, we had 5 show up at the meeting, so we do want to give them time to ask their questions, get them answered so they get a good bid in, and we have a good competitive, process there. But so that number is going to come down from what it was the first time around. But yes, we're still going to have to take a loan, dip into reserves, whatever that is. And so this would add into that because it's $200,000 that we can't, use for that, for the wastewater treatment part.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Lane.
I guess where I was going with that is that extra $200,000 before we're, adding snow to the snowball. Is there a way to? Is all of this needed to get something done, or
Yeah.
are we just? This
The
helps.
wastewater treatment plant won't function without the lift station and the water connecting
Where
to
I
the
was
plant.
going was there a way to cut the 200 off and do it later instead of adding snow to the snowball?
You got to have this for it to function.
You'll ask the public,
Public want to speak on that, any at all?
general business.
Thank you for that reminder. Well, it ain't that I like spending that kind of money, but if you don't build it, they won't come, and I get your concern over adding to the snowball that it already is. It's a very expensive venture. But it's not going to get any cheaper, it's just going to get more expensive. And I think that pretty much gets us to about where we need to be on that project for a while, don't it?
Yeah, there's a stormwater pond out there, and there'll be some more water lines. We want to extend further out 90, and we're going to want people to hook up to it, whether it's new businesses. There's a couple phone calls that have been made about other businesses coming out there at that interchange. So, yeah. And we're just on the phone with the federal lobbyists today and some grant writers trying to, there's more pots of money out there that it's a 2 or 3 year process, but we're looking every day for more funding. But yeah, we gotta have that if we want more businesses to come out there for sure.
It's kind of like the road paving. You start it thinking it's going to cost you one thing, and the time you get through, it's double that.
That's part of why we'll be in Tallahassee the next couple of days too, lobbying them while we're over there, meeting with the Senate President, with our representative, and just driving home the point of the funding through the Rural Renaissance or Scrap and Scop or, whatever it is. We got to increase those dollars. So,
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Lynn.
I'm good with the extension. I just wanted to voice my concern of digging the hole deeper because we already know we got a hole with the wastewater, but if the system's not going to run with it, without it, then, we may have to find a place to cut somewhere else if needed, but
Yep.
if it's needed, it's needed. I'm good. I'm not questioning the cost or whatnot. I just didn't want us to dig a deeper hole than what we already know we have in the construction of it.
We'll look at that at the end with the contractor for the wastewater plant when it comes back in a couple weeks. We'll know the puzzle pieces, and we may cut a couple things out of that. Those bid alternates that we talked about on the rebid. So
I think the most important thing is for us to get that plant built and being able to get enough of this stuff out there, the lines out there to attract folks to tie into them. So if you got a $10 million plant or a $20 million plant, but your line only goes a half a mile, you're gonna need a lot of businesses in that half a mile or more miles.
We had a water utility meeting today, pretty lengthy utility meeting today, and we're looking at ideas to get people onto the system that's currently not on the system, such as some ideas that were thrown around was anybody that's building new there will be required to hook up to it, which I think they already are anyway, but existing homes that are there now, as long as their stuff's working fine, they're welcome to stay on what they've got, but as soon as they have to pull a drain field permit or something like that on the septic tank, then they'd have to hook up to our sewer and water at that point. So there's a lot with the utility, and I'll be bringing forth me or Commissioner Mobley. I think I like appointing Commissioner Mobley to bring forth a update, if you will, on the water utility as well. So it's just part of this whole thing.
Chairman.
Commissioner Mobley.
Isn't it already in place about on 137 where they done the water and sewage?
Is it mandatory to hook up to it?
When they come new or if their septic tank or drain field goes bad, at that point they do?
I think there was some.
Any kind of
about
upgrade or
that.
new construction or upgrade to their system.
Could I direct staff to check into that and see if there was ever anything like that done as far as the utilities? I remember talking about it. I just don't know if anything was ever officially done on it.
At 136?
And 137.
137. Back to the interstate.
And I know Shannon's going to come asking you for that anyway, so I'll just go ahead and give you a heads up.
Okay. We'll look
All
at
right.
it.
Any further discussion on item 13?
No,
Or do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Mobley,
second.
second by Commissioner Hale. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Additional agenda items.
We do have one.
What's that?
We do have one.
Yes, sir. This is the hatch mine down at Brantford. You know, I brought this to you several times. Well, I think we're in the final seconds of this now, finally. Approval of third addendum to agreement 2009-31 with Hatch Enterprises Incorporated to lease an additional 8.93 acres of ground. And the total price over 120 months is $1.2 million for that lease, with 120 monthly payments of $10,034 a payment. And some of that is, I don't remember quite what the acreage was now. I'm sure it's in here.
It's on the last page, Mr. Chairman. I want to say it's 8.
But that island's getting real skinny down there on the Lime Rock.
8.93.
Yeah, it's 8.93, but some of that's at a 60-foot strata, and some of it's at a 30-foot strata. And it's in the calculations there. You'll see it. But that's what's before us. And it's what I've brought several times. We've just had to get the right surveys and get everything lined out. And of course, part of that we wanted to lease, why it's such a small acreage, is the part that I originally wanted to lease. As we went and did some test boring and other things on it, the lime rock falls off real quick going north of where we're mining, which belongs to the Hatches as well. But the part that we're leasing here, the 8-point-something acres, we've checked that, and that's good rock right under the surface. So that's the reason for the shrinkage in acreage.
Well, that answers my question, because I remember you mentioning that last time, that you didn't like some of the testing that was done, and some of the results, shall I say. Okay.
And this, like I said before, we've got a really aging drag line that really, it's going to have to be replaced. But this also gives us the advantage of top mining, where we're not mining in the water where you don't need a drag line. And so that gives us a little more time to budget for and replace the drag line we do have and still produce rock for the roads for the county.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Land.
but to be clear, this is a third addendum, so most of the language and agreements in the original lease remain the same as far as reclamation, all that good stuff. This is really just a
the
third
add-on.
addendum for the acreage and the price on the new legal description, right? I mean, the guts of the lease are remaining the same from the way I read it.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Functionally, it just adds a new piece of land to our existing lease at this price.
Right, I scanned this for purposes of reclamation and all that, and none of that is really in here, and then in the back page there, it says basically all of the guts in the original release still
Yeah.
stand in effect. So the same rules apply as originally agreed upon by the county way back when. We're just adding acreage and the price.
Yes, sir.
Pretty much. Am I wrong, Mr. Morrison?
Nope, and if you compare the language in this addendum to the previous addendums, they're almost verbatim, not quite, but almost.
I just asking for reassurance that there wasn't a surprise in here somewhere that I didn't see that changes the original agreed upon lease.
No, absolutely not. That was the, and
Point of the addendum.
correct, and it's been gone over multiple times now between us and the Hatches.
And if I'm not wrong, on the first lease, we're almost finished paying that. That was an original 20 years to mine, or pay for in 20 years, 30 years to mine, if memory serves me correct, and it's probably in here, but kind of the same thing on this piece, just not as long a time frame. And so the $10,000 a month payment, correct me, I don't know without looking, but I think it's around the same thing we're already paying, although it was for a lot more acreage when we done it before than what we're getting this time because of inflation and what the Hatches wanted for the rock.
And Mr. Chairman, it's not just for the benefit of the public, and I don't have it sitting here in front of me, my apologies. But part of the reason for this, just to remind the board and the public, is our engineer had done a cost breakdown of what it would cost us to not get the rock at this price from the Hatches, and this still by kind of a country mile is the cheapest way for us to continue to get lime rock.
All right. Mr. Chairman, Ms. Flanagan, and you might not be the right person to ask, I don't see Barry here, but how much did we have built into the budget? We had a number in the budget for this purpose. Do you remember what that number was?
I don't. I want to say it was around $500,000, but that was for some new equipment.
Yeah, that was not.
And the lease was in some of that. I don't remember.
But my point being is if we execute this today, I want to make sure that the funds are there to start making these monthly payments. What was the begin date?
So we're thinking over 100,000 on the lease, but I'll have to verify.
It's 120.
It's the bid,
It's $120,000 a year. I mean, is that right? Yeah,
Yeah, we're in the-
$120,000 a year.
Fourth month. Let's see. Yeah, we're almost done with the fourth month of the budget, so I want to make sure that we got 4 out of 12, 8 months, at least 80,000, well, 10,000 something, so at least 85,000. And
have that covered.
okay.
And like I said, I'm not sure exactly when it runs out. I should have looked it up, but the first lease that we done is either paid for by now or nearly paid for. So
Within the next 8 months,
yeah,
maybe.
I'm thinking it's
Well,
not far off.
It just says here the lease shall commence on the first day of February 2026. I just want to make sure that this fiscal year we had at least 85,000 in the budget to cover this year's lease payments.
And we feel comfortable with that, Ms. Flanagan?
Mr. Chairman, if we're certain we got the 85-ish thousand in the budget to cover the lease payments until the next fiscal year, then I'm okay with the lease.
Anybody else, any opinions? Or do I have a motion to approve? Or does the public want to speak on this? It's an additional item. Does anybody want to discuss this? Nobody ever wants to talk to me about the mine. But it's been quite fun with this. I've been working on this for, I don't know, I think since I've been a commissioner. But
Somehow or another it falls to that commissioner, no matter what.
which I don't mind. I enjoy it. I know how it works and I understand it, so it's fine with me. But if no one from the public's wishing to speak, any other further comments from the board or a motion to approve or deny?
I have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Land, second by Commissioner Mobley. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Administrators' comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just continue to work through all our projects. Our community centers are breaking ground. If you've seen off of Gold Kiss, the COVID CV building there is coming around. All the community centers will start coming out of the ground as well. I mentioned before the wastewater treatment plant, we are going to extend that deadline by a couple weeks to get some more questions and answers to the contractors. We did fly, for the courthouse dome, we did fly a drone out there the other day and got some measurements from the drone and engineer to help. We'll post that and hope get some more bids on that as well for the dome. The hay lease, I think we had two people bid on that, so we'll be reviewing those and see where that ends up. Our EM consultant, we've gotten several proposals back for the EM to help us through transition piece, so we'll be looking at those, and the numbers range pretty good bit, but want to make a recommendation on that here. Look like a couple of them are underneath my signing authority, so we'll probably go ahead and make a decision here next week when we get back from Tallahassee and get that process started again, or get it going with some momentum there and start making that transition, get them in here. The VSO I mentioned we hired, he'll be starting in 2 weeks, I think February 2nd. We're going to move the veteran service officer upstairs and into admin and take that front office upstairs if we can keep our elevator working anyway. And
I done forgot it works. I just go to the stairs automatically now.
well, rumor has it stopped working today, so I'm not sure yet. Let's see. I mentioned we're going to FACT tomorrow and Rural County Days on Thursday, so we'll be in Tallahassee trying to beg for some more money as usual and make some inroads there with staff. They'll be coming down to the Capitol Courtyard Thursday for the lunch and the Rural County Days, so it'll be a good chance to meet with them. I was going to mention, I just got an email earlier on our, I guess, bid documents, maybe for the attorney, but our liquidated damages number is like $2,500 a day for liquidated damages for a contractor not meeting deadline. And I don't know how we came up with that number, who came up with that number, but it seems that some projects that may not apply for some smaller projects, maybe it applies for a bigger one, but any idea, is that, how can we revise that number?
Sure.
Is that staff, the attorney, board action? How do we go about that?
The candid answer is there's a standard contract, which that's usually what's used. So the reason for liquidated damages can't be a penalty because then you get in trouble for it, and they're not enforceable. But the purpose of liquidated damages is to put this is going to be done on time, or else this is what the damages are going to be. So there's a standard contract that counties have used, which I cribbed part of it, and that $2,500 comes from that. But not being cute about it, it's our contract. We can do whatever we want with it. So if it's your choice and you want us to make it lesser or more, so long as we can rationally tie the damages to the delay, it'll work.
I get word from some contractors that may not want to bid on it. It's in, because the draft is in our bid docs. So I know it's not the final contract, but they see that and it may scare them away.
And if we want to change that
Okay.
bid doc to just, and Mandy, you can just go ahead and do this. Instead of $2,500, just make it blank, and then we can make that part of the negotiation for whoever wins the bid.
All right. 10-4, just wanted to bring that up and ask that question since I just saw that email come through a minute ago. Other than that, I don't really have any comments, remaining comments, unless you guys have any questions about any projects.
Thank you, sir. I think I started with Mr. Mobley last time. Commissioner Land, commissioner's comments?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Well,
Keep it short and quiet.
that sounds good. Commissioner Hale,
I don't have anything either.
Commissioner Mobley. Well, darn, I'll just shut up too. I just need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
So, second.
Motion by Commissioner Mobley, second by Commissioner Land.
All in favor, aye.
All in favor, aye.
You know,
4-0 there,
I
Logan.
think this is the shortest meeting since I've been here.
All right. You know why?
Because you guys got to go.
Jimmy Norris wasn't here.
That's true.